music keeping me alive. Yeah, I work there hard for it.
Hello guys, and welcome back to Muzik. It's Friday today, and it's Christmas today. So we're shooting this episode right a couple of days before it's gonna be published. So happy holidays, everybody!
Happy holidays!
I hope you're having a great time and you're celebrating holidays as you should. So today we're gonna do a bit different concept from what we usually do, because usually I'm the person who interviews my guest, but today Eilon's gonna interview me. And we're gonna talk about graduation, and because Eilon is also a graduate from Musicians Institute, he will contribute to the conversation and not only ask questions. So you can see both sides of how it feels to graduate from two different programs actually.
Woo! So, shall we start?
Yes.
Just like this?
Do like this.
Okay. So, the first question I seriously wanted to ask you is, like, what the fuck? How do you feel? You graduated, and what's the strongest feeling you feel at the moment?
Well, funny enough, I feel a fresh new start. It's like an end of an era, because I was in school for so long. I was like, not for so long, because there are people that go to college for 4 years, but
most of them.
Yeah. But because I did 2 certificates, I actually did a year and a half of college, 2 different programs, and I did it like straight after each other. So I didn't have any vacation or any kind of break. So I feel I was so overwhelmed the last quarter. It was so much already, because I was looking forward to graduate, and now I'm like, it's an end of an era, and it's the beginning of something completely different. It's the beginning of something new. Because, school, it's school. But, like, now it's, like, the real thing, it's, like, the real life. And I'm super excited. I'm terrified. I'm scared. It's scary. But I'm excited.
This is what we came here for. It's, like, this whole build-up that we did when we study. And when you graduate and you go out, exactly as you said, to the real world, it's like, and all the options are in front of you, and now you need to understand how to choose them.
Yeah, it's completely like that, because I remember, because as I said, I was doing 2 different programs, and my first program was Independent Artist program, and when I graduated from Independent Artist, you remember, I was terrified. I had no idea what I'm gonna do. I felt that I'm not quite ready to go out there. I didn't know.
That's a tough program.
It's a tough program. It's a tough program. For those of you who don't know, Independent Artist program, it teaches you how to be an artist, but like as it sounds, an independent artist. So you're on your own. You basically learn, Photoshop, recording, media, stuff like that, but like everything of how you do on your own. It doesn't teach you how to like understand business or work in a studio or stuff like that, because it's not enough. So after I graduated from this program, I was so terrified. I was so scared. Because we are international students here and we are here on visas, and like I need to get a job. I need to get a job in the field of music. And after graduating this program, I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what can I offer, because I knew a little bit of Photoshop, a little bit of Logic, a little bit of social media, a little bit of business,
and it was just the start, that you can't really you don't learn. You learn all of what's around how to produce your music, but you don't learn how to actually make your music. It's a part of a process.
Exactly. And I wasn't ready, and I decided that it for me specifically, it can be different from each one of you guys, but for me specifically, I felt like this program can't get me a job to stay here in the US. I felt like there's nothing that I can offer, because I don't know it yet. And because it's a different country for me, and everything works differently for us back in our country, I decided that I want to do music business. I decided that I want to understand what am I doing and what not to sign and what deal not to take, because the music industry is tricky. It's not easy. It's not all good people with good intentions. There are so many bad people that are just ruining artists by signing them bad deals and by taking everything from them. And so many stories about artists that just like signed the wrong deal and they're gone. There's nothing. We don't hear about them anymore. And I decided I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be scammed, and I went to study music business, which was a hell of a challenge. It was not easy. It was hard, especially for artists, because when you are an artist and you feel everything and you like so sensitive and you're creative and we're so emotional. So when you go to the business side of things, damn, that's not easy.
Emotions doesn't exist.
No. Business and emotion, they don't mix. And then I need to sit in class and all I hear, it's like money, contracts, deals, negotiating, and like everything is about the money. And I'm like, damn, I just want to write a song. I just want to create my art.
Aside of that, I just want to say, like, on a personal thing, that the music business, the second program you did, it was amazing to watch you, because before the program started, I remember you told me, I don't know how I'll deal with all of that. I can't read so much. I can't do that. And you just you nailed it. It was a hard working process and you nailed it. And she got an extraordinary student or something like that, the award. And outstanding performance student, learning student. And it was amazing to watch you. It felt like it actually affected you. And as anything you learn in life, I think that there's the time you learn and practice and build yourself a routine of how to do it. And that part of the journey is very technical and very, accurate and not so emotional. Like, for example, when you're playing guitar and you're practicing technique. And then when you finish that phase and when you finish learning and you know all of you are, it takes a moment or two to step out of this whole technical place where no emotions are, and you bring back the emotions in. And what happened is that you leveled up and then you brought the emotions back to the new level. So it's a matter of time to digest all of what happened in the last 6 months.
I just want to say that I was terrified before the program started, because it was so scary for me to realize that I need to now read contracts and do all those projects and all these legal words and business in a language, in my third language. It's really, really hard. And I just want to let you know that the previous episode that I did about time management, that's exactly how I managed to do all of that. I had a routine when I knew exactly what I'm gonna do, that I was waking up early, I was exercising to feel better, I was doing my homework on time, I was doing my projects on time, I was doing my to-do list and actually following everything. And this is how I managed to do it, because it is so hard to lose it. It's so hard to come home, just lay in front of a TV and be like, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, I'm just gonna and then you notice that it's time to do the project and you're like, oh fuck, I didn't even start. So it was a challenge, but I learned so much. Not only school stuff, I learned so much about myself and how to manage life, how to do everything.
Which actually brings me to the last question, so it's gonna be the second question, because I want this question to be the last one, but can you even sum up this whole period of time? Can you even put the whole last year and a half in a couple of sentences and explain what you've been through. If you look at Vika a year and a half ago and you look at graduated Vika, like...
Wow, some of you just like don't know, because I started this YouTube channel like 8 months after I got here, so you didn't even get to see how I was when I got here.
I did.
But like he can actually see the change that I've been through, that I've been changed.
That you've changed.
The change that I've changed. So it's enormous. It's like I'm looking at myself just when I got here, and for those of you who don't know, I didn't do music professionally before I got here. Like I was doing like vocal kind of like training or something, but I wasn't like, I didn't understand anything, like really nothing. Like if now you telling me words like, you know, publishing, contract, uploading a video to YouTube, Spotify, you know, like whatever, copyright, I had no idea, like no clue. I was like, you know, like it was a kindergarten, you know, like when you just like step up and it's like a whole new thing. So now when I look at myself when I got here, like a year and a half, like from since then, it's like the change that I made, it like personally and professionally, everything. It's like the things that I learned, again, aside from everything that I learned in school, you know, all the publishing copyrights and all that, like it's like I learned about myself. I learned what I capable of, because a year ago I couldn't even imagine that I will have a YouTube channel, that I will have a song out, that I can actually read a contract and understand. Ooh. I couldn't even imagine that I can read a contract and actually understand what it says in the contract, and understand what they talk about in the news when they talk about, like, you know, all the music websites that like kind of like tell you what's happening in the industry. I had no idea what any of that means, and now like, I feel ready. And school can't teach you everything, and I believe that the part of school is just to kind of give you the tools and prepare you to what's out there. But the real school, it's now. The real school, like the real stuff, where I'm going towards, it's like that's what I'm gonna learn. That's everything. It's like when you step inside and you start your job, when you start actually performing, when you start releasing your music, that's when you actually, you know, like
get the beat.
Exactly. It's like you take all those tools you learned in school, and because in school it's everything, it's like on paper, so you do learn, but like the practical thing, that's now. That's when I'm gonna start working. I'm gonna start releasing my music, and we have this beautiful studio now, so I can actually record
In this new apartment.
Yes, in the new apartment. Like I said, we moved, so like Eilon already built all this amazing thing here, so we can actually start working and get real, you know, because it's nice to know what you're supposed to do before you release a song, but like trust me, when you actually start doing that, you realize that like things get complicated, and you learn on the way, you know, because it's cool to know that you need to copyright your song. Yeah, well, I know that. I know the website that I need to go, but when you actually go to the website, the things you learn on the way, it's like, oh fuck, you need that. Oh wow, that, and then you need to pay there, and you need to pay. It's good to know everything on paper, but learning practically, that's the school. That's the real thing.
I can't agree more. It was my actually second question to ask you. What did you learn? I wanted to ask, what did you feel that school gave you? And not meaning like, you know, outside and everything, but what school gave you. But I couldn't agree more. There's a limit to what school can give you, and what you can do with it afterwards, and what you can make it to be. Because if you only take school, and our school was pretty short, like it was 12 hours a week, something like that, right? Most of it, at least my program was like
Yeah,
this.
it wasn't like
It wasn't like
uh,
full time on and like 8 hours a day. It wasn't like this. And you can't, there's a limit of what you can get out of only going to school, and it's a matter of what you do afterwards with what information you got, and trying to expand that information or put that information into practical work. Just like you did on your internship, for example, in Position Music, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A great company. Great people, great company. It's a publishing company. It's a label. They're now like expanding to a label. And more than everything, it's the people you meet. More than everything, even now when we're talking about school, even in school, like classes are amazing and the schedule and the homework, everything is amazing. But I think in this industry, I'm sure in this industry, it's all about the people. It's all about the connections you make, the impression you make when you meet new people. And you were talking about school, and you were talking about my internship. And I think both of them, I managed to meet great people, and I made amazing connections, because even though it's an internship, and sometimes you do things that you don't like because it's an internship, not usually, always, a school internship is something that you're not getting paid for, and it's very easy to kind of think, oh, well, they're not paying me, so who cares? I'm just gonna do whatever I need to do and, like get this over with, like do my hours and just go home. But I came from a different perspective of, you never know where it can lead you. And you come to the internship, you come to class, you come to wherever you at, and you give your more than 100%. You give everything, and you do extra, like you did. Exactly like you did in your job. It's like you give extra. You're not just coming to do your job, because it's like, yeah, you can do your job, it's okay. But if you're doing more, you give people that extra of yourself, people will remember you. And the things that I got from my internship are incredible. I got personal contacts. I got amazing recommendations that led me to a friend, like a person from the company recommended me to a friend of hers that is a businessman that now starting a project that he wants, and he wanted to meet with me and talk with me because he heard such good things about me. And we're sitting on a coffee, and he's telling me about his project, and he's like, I would like to be a part of a team. And I'm like, how the fuck did it happen? Like, it's incredible. And I had no idea that I'm leaving this like amazing first impression, and like, and
you just did your thing.
I was doing what I need to do, and extra. Like I was always smiling, I was always on time, I was always asking questions, like a lot. Like I was like, excuse me, like what is that, I was learning, I was always asking to help, I was always looking what to do. And this is something that stays with you. So even there, and even in school, in classes, now I have those amazing recommendations that I got from my teachers, because they saw how hard I was working. And I saw many people that came to class and they didn't care that much, and they were just like, oh yeah, well, there, it's cool, it's class, like who cares, And they were just like sitting there and wasting time and money. And I never realized why. Because especially here, like you're going to college, you spend a lot of money, and you spend your time. A lot of money, right? It's like it's not even yours. It's like it's your parents are like putting this money into you. It's like the least you can do is to like, to
make the minimum effort to give that money a good excuse.
Yes, it's like give them a good reason to.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand what you say, but yeah, it's that. It's like, so I have a belief in my life, like a motto kind of thing in my life, that everything you do, everywhere you go, And everyone you meet, there is a reason. And you can get out of every situation and every person, you know? So if you find yourself in a class that you don't like, get something out of it. You know, make something out of it. Like, sit down and think, okay, I don't like this class. That's not what I want to do in my life. But I am in this class right now. So I'm going to think how this class is going to benefit me somehow. And this is what I do. Everywhere I go, everything I do. I don't believe in, like, you know, wasting my time. Because, like, if I need to be somewhere, I need to do something, it's not going to be a waste of my time. It's going to be something. A waste of my time is just like sitting on the couch and be like, that's a waste of my time. I don't like doing that. But if I'm doing something, I'm doing it. I'm learning something out of it.
Nothing to add. Nothing to add.
I just think, like, for you guys watching that, really, I think the most important lesson that I learned from the music business program, it's the connection with people. Really, this is like the most important thing, because it's not about being the most talented artist in the room. It's not about being the best singer or the best in what you do, which is amazing. But a lot of times it's about that people like working with you, that people like connecting with you, and you're there for them and they're gonna be there for you. Many of times I meet people that's gonna be like, oh, can you help me do that? Oh, can you help me do that? Can you help me do that? Can you come to my show? Can you pay for my ticket? Can you do that? Can we do a YouTube channel about me? And it's like me all the time. And it's like, no, just why? Why do you think that I'm gonna give you everything and like you're just gonna sit there and don't do anything for anyone else? You know, it's like, and yeah, this is like really like 90% of what I learned is like, it's be a good person, be there for other people, do things for other people. And every time you meet a new person, first of all, think how you can benefit the person. And after that, like, ask for favors. But you don't meet a person and then start asking for favors, because that's just, you're not gonna get a call back. You're not gonna get a good recommendation. Nobody gonna come to your show. It's very mutual. So first of all, think about the other person in the room.
I agree a lot. I think that from the situation a lot of musicians are at today, nowadays, when you need to focus so much on everything and all the things you can possibly do by your own, because no one will accept you in the industry except you already proven something, and that's so much like time consuming and effort consuming, that people just forget the fact that it's not all about them. And the end of it, no one would want to watch anyone because he's saying I'm amazing. They would like to watch that or to listen to it because it made them feel something, or the whole creation was good. But I just think it's so much less about the artist as an artist, and it's so much more about the audience and the people who are listening to. And it's not only, it doesn't count if you're only paying attention to the audience, but don't pay attention to your fellows and
Exactly.
the people along the way. And if you don't miss that, this is when and how people are gonna remember you. Nobody's gonna remember anybody because he was amazing. They're gonna remember it because there was a connection made and they actually cared.
Yeah, most of the gigs that, like, a great gigs that people get, and I'm not talking about like only performance on stage. I'm talking about film and TV, like scoring, you know, and like all the industry, like everything, even internships, even like great jobs in labels and like whatever like you can think of. Most of the people, they rather to take the people that they already know, like people that they heard great stuff about, or a friend that you met and you spent some time together and you know that he's a good person. So the chances are that if you have two people that are qualified for the job, but one of them you know personally, and you know that this is a good person, or he's a friend of yours, or you got a recommendation from a friend of yours, this is the person that's gonna get the job. Because if you're like, again, if you're super talented and great at you do, but you're like a shitty person and you don't care about anybody except yourself, so chances are you're not gonna get the job or the gig or the collab or whatever.
Probably not.
Probably not.
You're also not gonna make friends on the way, which is probably the worst thing.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my last question, which was the second question. Instead of the second question, that became the third question.
Completely followed what you said, yes.
So we're doing the last question.
Yes.
And I'm gonna change it a bit because I just wanna hear now if you can, as graduated Vika, if you can sum up emotionally what happened in the last year and a half. It doesn't have to be, I'm not expecting anything, just like, how do you feel when you look back?
No, I'm gonna be really open about it, because I think that, like, we all, many of times we rather to hide the negative emotions and just show how good everything is, you know? So I'm gonna be very open about it, and I'm gonna be really honest about everything I've been through. And I'm gonna say that it wasn't easy. There were a lot of ups and downs, a lot of breakdowns that I was so lost, so completely lost. I lost belief in myself. I didn't know what to do. I had a writer's block. I couldn't write anything. I didn't want to do my homework. There was so many stops on the way that I was lost. But I think, and I really believe in it's one of my many mottos, it doesn't matter how many times you fall. It matters how many times you get up. And I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that yes, we do have our emotional breakdowns, and we do have those bad moments, and like you had a fight with your friend, and you got a D, and you know, it's like, and everything, and like it comes all at the same time, and you like feel like shit, like, because it all falls like in just like 1 week. But I think it's important to realize, yes, that happened. We have problems, we have issues, something is going wrong. But it's okay, and it's gonna be okay, and I'm gonna stand up and stop feeling sorry for myself, because we sometimes like doing that. We sometimes like to like, oh, everything is shit, and whatever. You just get up, slap yourself if that will help, yeah, and like keep going. It's all okay. And then, so my camera stopped right when I was talking about things going wrong. So I forgot when I was...
slap yourself in the face.
Slap yourself in the face, exactly. I mean... great
point to stop at.
Yes, I mean things happen, like, and things go wrong. Like, my camera just stopped recording in the middle of my important message, which is annoying. But it's like, it's okay, you know. I think something that my mom told me, my mom and her friend, they told me, like, I had such some problem like a few months ago, and I was like so sad about it. And then my mom was on the phone, and she was asking me, think about your problem. Is that something you're gonna worry about in like a week from now or 2 weeks from now? Is it something that's gonna like still bother you? And I was like, nah, I can probably like fix it like tomorrow or like 2 days from now, and like I'm gonna forget about it like next week, because like I'm past this already. So like there is no point to feel so bad about something that is fixable and it's gonna pass. So that's like something that I follow with, and every time something bad happens, I'm like, I'm probably gonna fix it. I'm probably able to fix it, and it's like in my hands, so I can actually do something about it. So I'm gonna do something about it and stop feeling bad, and like actually, you know, get back to normal. So this year was full of that. This year was challenging. It was not easy, but I learned so much. And I met amazing people. Also met some bad people. Even meeting bad people, it's teaching me how to handle bad situations and how to step out of a bad situation when you're being accused of something and you're being, somebody is like trying to do something bad to you or trying to like sabotage you or just, it's just like an unpleasant meeting with a person. And it's like, that also happens. It happens a lot in the industry. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad people in the industry. And it's also important to know how to deal with that and how to deal with bad situation when you're like standing there and you're like, but I did everything right. And you're still being the bad guy. It's like, okay, how do I deal with it? Like, how do I continue going and fix the situation and fix the problem? Do I walk away? Do I fight back? Do I talk to them? Do I solve them? It's everything, and you learn this on the way. There's not something like they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you in school how to deal with those things. It's something that you need to figure out on your own, and that's how you figure this out. Shit happens, and then on the way you do mistake, and then you do another mistake, and then you do another mistake, and then finally you slap yourself in the face and you said, no, I'm not doing this mistake anymore, and you fix the situation and you handle it differently and you learn and you grow. And I think that's important. It's okay. I think you taught me that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to lose sometimes. It's okay to fall sometimes. But if you grow from that, so you're doing everything right. That's all you need to do. You need to fail, learn from it, succeed.
Don't let failure terrify or make you afraid. Accept it and just be happy with it because you learned something. That's all.
Exactly. We all do mistakes. We all fuck up. We all lose somewhere and being stupid sometimes, and we're human, right?
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's no problem with that.
Exactly. So I think that's what I learned, and I'm still learning from that because I'm still sometimes the fear of failure stops me. It's like being afraid to go on stage because I'm afraid that I'm gonna fuck up on stage, or being afraid
to be judged.
To be judged or to forget the lyrics, and then I decide, I'm just not gonna do it, and it's wrong. And I'm still learning, how not let fear stop me. But I'm getting better. I'm getting there, and this year is gonna be an amazing year, and
2020 is gonna be good.
I wish you a productive year. I wish you a happy year, a year that you're gonna learn from and move forward. Because if you're moving forward, you're doing everything right and you're doing everything great. And I'm gonna be here with you every other week.
It's amazing how this whole thing ended. End of the year. It's a new apartment. It's a graduation for you. It's a new year coming up. Everything starts new. Everything starts fresh. It's like I think that I told you that before. I think that 2019 was a rough year for a lot of our friends, and from the music I hear and from the things I read, it was a rough year for the world to accept. And I don't know why I feel that 2020 is gonna have such a good vibe and a positive vibe. It's like 2019 was the study process, so it was very technical and harsh, and now
time to execute.
Exactly. And now it's time to bring back the emotion and understand that this is how things are. Let's make the best out of them. Yeah. I feel like 2020 is gonna be amazing.
2020 is gonna rock. Be awesome. It's gonna be great, and we do gonna have ups and downs. I mean, shit happens, but we're gonna overcome everything. So for all of the guys that watching now, I just wanna wish you a great year. I wanna wish you to learn a lot this year, and to keep going forward, to keep doing what you do. And I remind you that if you wanna take Eilon's seat for the next episode, you are more than welcome to come here and... No, I'm not.
This is my seat.
I'm sorry. He's gonna let you to take the seat for half an hour and to come here and to talk about whatever you feel like talking about and give something and give value for the viewers at home. And we have an amazing studio here. So if you want to come and record, if you want to come shoot a cover, if you want to come do a photo shooting, ta-da!
It's gonna be freaking awesome.
It's gonna be great. And we are waiting for you here in the studio. Okay, so Eilon, thank you so much for interviewing me.
Thank you so much for letting me interview you. And I hope everybody's gonna have great holidays and great New Year. And yeah, I think that this is it. That's it for
today?
Music 2019.
Yes, because next episode is gonna be, wow, it's gonna be 2020.
That's it. That's
Cool, guys.
exciting.
Yes, it is. So guys, I'll see you next year, I guess. Bye.
Goodbye.